G'day viewers, this is the Scotrail 158 from Skyhook Games. This is a quick tutorial to teach you how to drive without any of the BS. So let's just jump in. Just turn on our guards panel here. Flick this one to open so it stays open. And get the rest of the train doors open. There they go. And we can go and set up the train now while we're waiting. I have already sat in the seat of this one. I'll just turn on DSD, which is the system if you get out of the chair, it will stop the train. Now, turn on AWS, which is the automatic warning system, or TPWS. Sit down in the chair here. Let's turn on the master key, and we will switch our reverser to forwards. And acknowledge that with the mushroom, Q key, circle, or B, depending on your controller. Next up, we want to set our headlights to be day headlights. You can turn on the GSMR, it doesn't really do anything though. Contact signaler is on the lower black phone. Instrument lights are nearly always usually on, so you can turn those on. Cab lights should you desire them. I will pop those on later in the tunnel. Horn here, with high and low. We've got windscreen wipers here, so if you really wanted your windscreen wipers on, we don't need them today. Alright, we've got a separate brake handle with 4 positions, and we've got a throttle with 7 positions. Now I've free roamed this one in, so right now we've got a red signal. I'll leave DRA on and get our window open. There's nothing active down here, I don't think. Now you can turn your cab fan heater on and off. Assume it's that one? No, it's not that one. Okay, it's just a switch. Nice. Alright, so let's just hop out so we can actually see our signal. No, we've got a yellow, in fact, so we can go and close our doors. Alright, we'll go and do that. You don't have to get up and close them. It's something you may choose to do if you wish. I just press the close button, and that will close all the doors except mine because I set that local switch to be open. Now hop back in and flick the local switch to closed. If I can get on it, there we go. And these doors will close. Once they're successfully closed, we signal our driver, turn off your guards panel, shut the door, and we can come back into the cab. Alright, let's jump down here. Now before we go, we're just going to do a quick brake test, so we will release the brakes completely. Go into step 1, and I'll talk about step 1 and step 2 while we drive. Step 2, step 3, and the 4th position is emergency, which I won't touch for the moment. Now the throttle's about to jump because I've just realised my rail driver's in full throttle. So there we go. Bit of horn, although they don't actually do that. Now we saw that we've got a yellow signal, so we can turn off the DRA. You won't be able to move if you don't turn off DRA. Straight into notch 3. The satisfying rumble from the Cummins. Now I have free roamed this train in, so this could get just a tad unpredictable. We have a green to head into the tunnel. And at the moment I've only set a path to the first station because I'm hoping that will give me some adverse signals and I can show you what happens if you ignore AWS and how to reset it. "20 mph speed limit here in the tunnel. But we are going up a very steep hill, so we'll just leave it in notch 3 for the moment. I'll pop the cab lights on so you can see what's going on. Should you feel the desire to couple up to or uncouple from another unit, you can. The 158 comes in several variants, the 158/0 and /1. They are just different lengths. This is a /0. Give it a bit more power. We're allowed to do 50 now. So we'll just come up to all the way up to notch 7, let it do its thing. I'm in an early access build, and this will be available to you tomorrow. This is the first run through of this route on this build too, so it may be a little jerky here and there. As you can see, it's a massively powerful beast. We are slowly accelerating in notch 7 up this very steep hill. Now, the first adverse signal coming up, I'm going to acknowledge it and show you what to do for that. And the second one, I'm going to ignore it and show you what happens. So we're coming up on the magnet in the center of the track for the first one. There it goes. To acknowledge, you just press the yellow mushroom, or alternately, Q key, or circle, or B on your controller as appropriate. Now, the next one that comes up I'm just going to ignore, which means the train will respond by stopping. I think I might still have my screen percentage set to 200% too. I must change that before I stream. Certainly looks better, but it's making the card work pretty hard. Alright, we're coming up on our next yellows. So I'm not going to acknowledge this one. Alright, the train is automatically applying an emergency brake, and you can see the sander lights come on because we're starting to slip, and we're coming to a halt. Alrighty, so first thing to do, throttle all the way back to off, put your brake up to full service, reset using the mushroom Q key, B or circle on your controllers, and we will have our brake demand light on now. Have a look up here, you can see the brake demand light is on. You need to wait a minute now, and that light will go off and you'll be able to release the brakes. So while we're waiting, why don't we have a look at the outside? Now that we're out here in the sun. It's the standard Scotrail livery. It's been done quite nicely. As far as I can tell, the vast majority of the stickers and things are actually belonging here. It's a bit of an upgrade from the 158 on Midland. I did ask Adam of Skyhook whether the upgrades to this one, because it certainly sounds better and drives better than the Midland mainline version, will they get backported to that one? And that is a possibility, but not a promise. So it could happen, or it might not. Let's just pop back into the cab now and see if our light has gone off. I think it has. So we can now release the brakes. And indeed they are releasing. And away we go, just like normal. So I'll bring this into the stopping point that I set up here. And then we'll set up another stopping point with free roam, just so I can show you what the normal service braking is like. $15-mile limit into this stopping point I set up. I'm not actually sure if it's a station or not, to be honest, where I set. We'll see in a moment. Sorry, I was just hunting around for my coffee. I normally have it on my left-hand side, and for no readily apparent reason I decided to put it on my right. So there you go. Lovely wheel squeals, we go through there. Nice clacky sounds as we go over the points. The unit does not carry suspension. is our stopping point, so we'll apply straight into step 2. I'm going to overblow my stopping point just a little, but that's fine. Alright, now let's just pop out into the map and let's free roam ourselves a new path. Let's just take it up to here, and then we will change ends and go the other way. Seems like a fair thing to do. Alright, so brakes off, bit of the old horny action, and away we go. Still limited to 15 at this point. But we can have a little bit of a chat about the brakes. So this train has been reviewed by real 158 drivers, just acknowledge the AWS, and its configuration for physics, for stopping and powering, is pretty close to the real thing. Still got a little bit of upslope, so I'll keep a tiny bit of throttle on, not much, as we head into Ashfield. Looks like Ashfield doesn't actually exist as a platform. Or perhaps it does, we just have a red signal. The joys of free roam. So you notice step 1 doesn't do terribly much, but if I go into step 2, back to step 1, it will actually brake a little bit harder. And this is a realistic practice. Alrighty, so let's just... so I'm not actually sure this is going to work in free roam. I'm taking a little bit of a gamble here, but that's okay. Let's put our brake into full service. Throttle in off. Reverser to off. Headlights to tail lights. Somewhere around here there's tail lights. So they are tail only. It's very hard to read in the light there. Master key off. You can leave our instrument lights on, that's fine. You would normally turn on your DRA. I'm actually not going to in this case, only because I haven't tested what happens. But normal practice you would, so let's walk through, look at the inside. Hello people, how are you doing? I did ride a Midland 158 and it's a bit similar. This is a Scotrail 158, it does have some differences. Looking at review videos of the machines, I can see it looks pretty close to what it should look like, to be honest. There is, of course, the classic toilet out of use sticker, which is a homage to Matt's desire to never have toilets in this game. Alrighty, up into the other cab now. Just jump down here and let's take possession. So we'll turn on our master key, put our reverser into forwards, and we'll hop up. Turn on our safety systems at this end. You don't need to turn them off at the other end. Back into the chair, and we will reset that. Okay, we do have a red signal down there, so we'll just leave DRA the way it is, but let's put on our day headlights. Leave the brakes the way they are for the moment. Let's set ourselves a path, and like I said, I'm not 100% certain it'll actually let me do this, so we're going to learn something together while we do this today. Let's head up the line here and go find ourselves a station. That looks like a station. Will it let me do it? Magnificent it will. Okay. There we go. Our red signals come off, so we can pop the DRA back to off. And instrument lights are already on. Release the brakes. And let's get moving as we're slowly rolling backwards towards a red signal, but that's okay. I was far enough away from it that we got away with it on our way to Bishop's Briggs. Keep a little bit of throttle on to keep up the speed as the friction through the points gobbles it up. You can probably tell I like messing with free roam. Gives you sort of a sense of adventure that you don't get running services. And I have to admit, I also like annoying the dispatcher by operating trains among the timetable. Alright, so that's not a particularly scenic area because they would not normally expect you to go in there. We have got a red signal just around the corner because there's another service has gotten out in front of us. That's the joys of free roam. I'm just acknowledging the AWS straight into step 2. Alright, we have come to a stop. We're going to full service on the brake. And wait for this signal to change. It shouldn't be long. The other train's just got to get up to the other end. Into the same station we're going into. In fact, there we go. We have now got a yellow. Let the people around us know that we're moving. I'm actually not sure of the horn practice on Scotrail. I did notice that in the rest of Britain, they tend not to use the horns much at all. They just go. I, of course, am being slightly naughty. Doing a massive 18 miles an hour currently. Alright, straight up to notch 7. Basically, you stick in notch 3, this is what the real driver told me, until you get to about 10 mile an hour, and then straight to notch 7. They don't really use anything else. It's 3 and 7. The only times they will use something in the middle is if they don't need full power. I think the driver described these machines as somewhat gutless. Acknowledging AWS on the double yellow up in front of us. How about an emergency stop? So, throttle to off, brakes to emergency. I'll have to acknowledge this AWS, probably, maybe. Oh, we're not crossed the magnet yet. Alrighty, so this is a driver-induced emergency brake. So once the train stops, you can simply release the brake. There's no need to acknowledge anything. And get back on the power, back into notch 3. Of course, your poor passengers out the back. Coffee's all over their lap and their laptop's gone flying off into the seat next to them. Off one of those conveniently slippery tables back there. Acknowledging the AWS again. As we run our way up into Bishop's Briggs Platform 1. Once we get into Bishop's Briggs, I'll show you a normal service stop for coming into the platform. And that will be it for this tutorial. We've about 500 yards to go, so throttle off now. We'll just coast the rest of the way in. I can see the platform, so I'm going to go into step 2, back to step 1. And the reason you do that is it gives you a little more braking power than just going into step 1 by itself. See, we are slowing quite effectively. Acknowledge the AWS for the red signal in front of us. Now, if you're coming down from 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, you're probably going to need to brake a little more aggressively. I'm actually going to have to come off the brakes because I'm going to stop early. There's people standing on the wrong side of the yellow line. Absolutely terrible. Who's controlling that platform? Anyway, we'll stop here and I will pop up and we'll go and open the doors using the guards panel. You can, of course, use your usual keys or controller buttons for controlling the doors. Let's just pop it into step 2 here. Lovely. And going to full service brake. Jump out of the chair. I am noticing the DSD alarm isn't going off even though I turned on DSD, so that's perhaps a bit of an issue. So let's turn on our panel. You don't have to do this, but you know, it's kind of fun. Click the switch over so the local will stay open when you close the other doors. Open them up, and that should let all the train doors open. Indeed it does. These people won't get on or off because this train's not going anywhere because it's in free roam and I haven't given it a path. So it's got no idea where it's going. So the people won't do anything. So we'll just hop back in here and I'll show you how to close the doors again. Now remember that we did knock our little switch down here to open, so that means the rest of the doors will close. This works on all the panels throughout the train and keeps only your door open. Then knock that one back to closed, if I get out of the way so it doesn't push me out. And that door will now close. Signal our driver, close the panel up, or turn it off and close it. And then you come back and you can be the driver again. So that'll be it for this tutorial though. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them down below in the comments. I will be streaming this unit tonight. So about the same time this tutorial goes live, in fact. Alrighty, have fun folks. As always, I bring this content to you to be helpful. Please let me know if it is, and like and subscribe to help me out. Thanks a lot folks. See you later. Bye.
We played a game.